Let me get away and escape my punishment. Let's read some more, y'all. We ain't got long. James chapter 1. And y'all, we're going to get right into Abraham.
James 1, the word.
Lord, about right. No temptation has taken thee. The Lord don't tempt thee.
Talk about it.
Be right there. Around verse 8. James chapter 1, verse 8, y'all. We're going to get right into Abraham. We're going to get right into Jacob. Some things happening a lot. And then we're going to hit Mark 7, y'all. We're going to close out, but we're going to finish this up with 1 Corinthians 7 because it's something very important in there. The man that married the wife, he ain't going to care for the thing of his woman more than he do the law. Does that mean you shouldn't get married?
No, son.
Okay.
Your heart speak for God first.
So if a man maketh himself a eunuch for the Lord's sake, how can he be fruitful and multiply? Is he sinning?
Yes, sir.
Is he?
Fruitful by his works. Yeah. By his works of his deed.
Say today.
That's what happens to you. I don't whack up your body and don't put don't put carvings and cut off parts of the body. So that's still sin.
Some that is born a eunuch.
Oh, you said born a eunuch. I'm saying no man made himself.
What is Paul?
In your body for the
Is
day,
Paul a eunuch?
in honor of the day, not just.
Is Paul a eunuch?
If you still be fruitful and multiply, that's the key.
That's the key. We're talking physical or spiritual first.
It's not about you can have seed without having seed. Titus, he said, my son under the same faith.
Right.
Under the same faith. So when you carry your fruits, what is that? I mean, you give up.
I know you said you make yourself a eunuch. I know you said you make yourself.
We're going to hit some Isaiah 56.
What is that today? You mean I'm not having sex, I'm not killing a wife, I'm making myself a eunuch.
Yeah, you heard what he said? You heard what he said? Isaiah 56 will break it down too. Let a man not say I'm a dry tree.
Yeah.
That's a eunuch.
Right.
That means I can't produce seed. See, so that gets me out of having to fulfill, be fruitful, and multiply. You did this to me, Lord. I was born this way. It's your fault. Is it really the Lord's fault?
No.
Huh?
No.
Because we got where he talks about Exodus when he says, none of the priests, any man that's wounded in the stone, Deuteronomy 23, any man that's wounded in the stone, you can't be a priest. What is your stone? Huh? Y'all say, okay. So if you're wounded in the stone, how does that opt you out of your priestly duties? Now, how does that work in the order of Melchizedek?
Y'all look up the Daniel, the first chapter. Y'all read them, y'all get a chance. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, Daniel, they all was looked over by the captain of the eunuchs in Babylon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was set over them. You don't read anything about Daniel having children, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like being a special privileged class amongst the kings and them. He had to make sure you couldn't deflower his name.
That's right.
It was a privileged status, but you was the eunuch.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So Daniel and them had basically were eunuchs in Babylon. People don't even understand that. He never recorded as having any children. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, none of them. But when you slow down and read the beginning of Daniel, you see, oh, he was in the eunuch's quarters.
That's right.
You feel me? And the Lord still was dealing with him.
Yeah.
The prophecies about the end time. You feel me? So y'all read them in every channel, the first chapter of Daniel.
He didn't do it to himself.
Yeah,
He didn't do it to himself.
I mean,
Yeah.
And say some have made themselves human. That's physical or spiritual?
Spiritual.
How you know? I mean, we got pedophiles today say castrate me. Why do you think they say castrate me? The stronghold is too powerful? But if you castrate me, I'm asking you to castrate me, what is that going to do to that desire? It's a mute point. It's like the eunuch standing guard. If one of his queens walks by looking like Beyonce with no clothes on, all he can do is sigh. What else going on?
That's a married woman. I don't even want to think about it.
Let's get it.
That's weird. James 1 and 8.
Yeah.
double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
What is that, a double-minded man?
Two-sided.
What does it mean, y'all? Somebody out there, what? Yes, sir. Double-minded means one day you like this, the next day you compromising out, you're using these scriptures, you're trying to use permissive will and get away with what you want to do.
His mind is not established.
It's not established. It has no foundation. He flip-flops. Go ahead.
Let the brother of low degree.
Of what degree?
Of low degree.
Right.
Rejoice in that he is exalted.
See, this is a broken and contrite spirit because he's of low degree. Y'all, he's base man. He's on the ground. It's the opposite of what Satan is. That's why it's called a serpent or a viper. Because they belly rule up the ground. That's how low they are. When you say, man, I'm not that nigga, man, that nigga's no. What does that mean to me? That means watch out. You may get bit unawares.
Yeah, you should look at the snake or what?
He's low. His belly rubs the ground. We have to compare him to that. He lower than a footprint, y'all. Go ahead.
But the rich in that he is made low. Because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
So what does that verse mean? Can you lie on the devil?
No.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Can you? I mean,
You can try to.
try to.
But it's your choice.
But if you lie on the devil and say he made me do it, then you are saying, God, you have tempted me with evil. You can lie on him from that perspective, but I just meant, can you lie on, can you use that as an escape?
No.
But you cannot use that. He did it. If it wasn't for him, why you put him on earth then? Right.
Why you put him on earth?
Right. What you got?
Precept to that is Deuteronomy 30:15 through 20.
What is
It's
that?
your choice.
Right.
Yeah,
You don't like what you did. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Read a little bit more of this, James.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Of his what?
Of his own lust.
Look, y'all, that ain't my lust. That wasn't the devil's lust. The devil come to you with your lust. It's yours. He heard you whispering about it. Man, oh, I'm telling you. Dog, listen. Just me and you. Yeah, dog, if it has. And why does the lion make you walk on your tiptoes and why lion make you lie on your feet? Because you don't have no foundation, you ain't standing firm. That's a distraction. No. Go ahead.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Right.
And enticed.
And what?
Enticed.
See, it's two parts to that. See, just because you lusted don't mean you're a sinner. It says you were enticed. That's the next thing. They shake it out to a rich. Come on, boy. Ain't no need you keep fighting this. You know you ain't going to be able to do it. Ain't no need you keep wasting your time. And it just stays like just like bait call. And you see them on bait call, they walk around. They go back through the house. They come back, and what's the final result? Jumping this. Go ahead.
And when lust hath conceived.
And when lust has done what?
When lust hath conceived.
Right.
It bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
See right there, y'all. So, and next verse, do not err, my beloved brethren. So y'all look, it's our own lust, y'all. So this is the point we want to establish, y'all. Ain't nobody making y'all do nothing. that's what you choosing to do.
It's your own
It's
choice.
wickedly sweet to you.
Exactly.
Go ahead, man.
I write this down too, to back it up. It's Sirach chapter 15, verse 11 through 20.
Right.
It says the same thing we just read in James 1 and 13. Sirach chapter 15, verse 11 through 20. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hates. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err. For he hath no need of the sinful man. The Lord hateth all abominations. And they that fear God love it not. He himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel. If you will to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness, he hath set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth your hand unto whether thou wilt. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh shall be given him. For the wisdom of the Lord is great. He is mighty in power and beholdeth all things. Right. And his eyes are upon them that fear him. Right. And he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wicked. Neither have he given any man license to sin.
No license to sin. So y'all, we got to be careful of what we're saying. That the Lord know my heart. You're saying he gave me a license to sin.
Right.
Lord know my heart. Oh, he's giving you a license to do that? Y'all, let's get right to
Just write this
this.
one down.
What?
Romans chapter 6, verse 20 to 23. You just write that one. Romans 6, the whole thing.
Okay, y'all read all that. Y'all go get right to these few scriptures. Y'all go, we got to get out of here. We're running short on time. Let's get right to it. Where Abraham said Sarah was his sister.
Technically.
In the book of Joshua, say he told his boys. If y'all heard him say anything, y'all lie with me. So, do we got some permissive will here on the Lord showing favor to Abraham for what? You write Genesis. Get right when it comes to the nature. Right. 16, that's where we're right.
That is 16 where he did.
That's why we're right there, 16.
That was in Hagar. Ishmael.
Right when he went and the king of Egypt wanted to take Sarah.
Abram goes to Egypt.
Yeah,
Chapter 12.
chapter 12.
Verse 10.
I went right at verse 10.
I'm done.
Yes, sir. Right.
Genesis the 12th chapter. Starting around verse 10.
And y'all, what we're talking about is permissive will. And what does permissive will mean? Does that mean that because a certain situation happened, I allowed you and I gave you a pass, so to speak? Because what is lying? Lying just ain't
Not telling the truth.
not telling the truth. If I say this is my brother, I have to add from another mother.
Right.
So that you won't be thinking that this is my blood brother. You know, or if I say this is my brother in the spirit, at least you know what family we need. But what we're talking about is creating a lie. You know, a lie have to keep being rehearsed. The truth don't do it. Look, brother, I need you to say, repeat it back to me. Where did you come through? What street? Cobra. I didn't say no damn Cobra. I said Martin Luther King. You have to keep grilling the lie. Truth is an absolute.
You said you bought the beer.
Go ahead, bro.
Before we get into that one, before we get into the scripture, I just need to know, I just need to remember further too. Was she his sister by his father, or was she his niece that his father had took in.
Right.
Okay, that's it.
See, and
So
the deal
technically, but not
technically,
really. Right, but not really.
technically,
Okay. You said a niece's father took in?
Well, niece, well, you understand what I mean?
Niece is a child of your brother or your sister.
But that was,
So whose daughter was she?
that was his brother's wife. That was his brother's wife, wasn't it? Was his brother?
That would be adultery, bro.
Right.
That would be adultery.
good questions though, kid.
His brother died, his father started taking it.
So whose daughter was she?
Right. Well, I said it wrong. It was his sister-in-law. It was his sister-in-law.
Brother, you're here. Stay here.
Okay.
It was his brother Ron's had himself.
Right. I was trying to line up.
So she's his niece.
Right.
Not that was given over or nothing like that, but that's his brother's daughter.
Right.
So Abraham is our father, is he?
Good.
How?
Because we are from the line of Abraham.
So what about your father?
My father is still from the line of Abraham.
So what would that truly make Abraham? Technically, you're what?
Great, forever.
Absolutely. So when he says she's my sister,
Right.
that's still a daughter of Abraham.
Right.
Sarah.
I got it.
So that's the mindset Abraham had. Truly, this is my sister, because in the kingdom,
Right.
everybody that's resurrected, whether you were married or not, or what? To the what? To the Father. You're his children. So there's no step, there's no great. These are my children. All of them. This is mankind. These are my children.
I got you.
Okay, no problem. Good question. Go ahead, let's read that Genesis.
Genesis chapter 12 and verse 10. Saying there was a famine in the land. Abram went down unto Egypt to sojourn there.
Is everybody in Genesis chapter 12, verse 10? Go ahead.
I'm going to start that over. It's saying, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there. For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me.
What they gonna do?
And they will kill me.
So you know the order was going down on Egypt. Why would you go there?
They take your wife.
No, I'm saying why would you go?
No food.
So you going into the lion's den.
Take food out of the lion's mouth.
Hey, however you say it. But I'm saying you are going into the lion's den because there's no food. There's no food where you at, physical food. I'm going into the lion's den. Go ahead.
But they will save thee alive.
What are they going to do with her?
Save thee alive.
Right.
Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair.
Y'all see how they looking at her? Same way all nations looking at our women today too. Boy, you is fine. Go ahead.
The prince also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh.
Y'all see this? Commend her before Pharaoh. Y'all know what that means. Oh, hey, man, you see that, man? Woo! Go ahead.
And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house.
Look at that, just took her. Took his woman. Go ahead.
And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants, and maid servants, and she asses, and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with the great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife.
So now if anybody of the naysayers, Egyptology, Buddhism, asks you, what kind of God y'all dealing with? This man just lied, and God is punishing this man, Pharaoh, your God, and wants us to join in to that. And look at this work right here. Abraham is lying about who this woman is. If he loved the Lord so much, why didn't he just die? How you answer that? How we answer that, y'all? Huh? What's they say? Like that.
What you
Who
say?
that hollered that out?
What you say for dog? A wise man will see the evil and hide it himself.
But what?
But the sinner, he get caught up.
The son to pass on the punishment.
So y'all, we got to get to the understanding of it's still to the point, the words of what he's saying, because the words of Sarah really being his niece was not rehearsed to Pharaoh, was it? So it's only not to Pharaoh. Let's read some more and see what happens so y'all can get the full. What'd you say? I say he didn't rehearse to Pharaoh that she was his niece. Really. He said, she's my sister. So y'all kill men about their wives. So was Abraham scared to die? Y'all see, this is the same thing that these naysayers will bring to you, the same way they'll try to put Christ down and say, why did he knew he had to die? Why he say, Lord, Eli, Eli, lama bethany? Why are you doing this to me? But what's the next word out of his mouth that they won't read? But if it be thy will,
That's right.
come on with the suffering.
That's right.
If this cup compares me, if death compares for all of us, who wouldn't be in that cup line? Who want to taste death and ain't nobody been back that we physically know to tell us about it? You heard your uncle talk about Big Mama. She say it's cool up in heaven, and she still got on the apron cooking pork chops still. You say you can smell her gravy?
Smell of gravy.
No. What we at? No.
Verse 18.
What it say?
And Pharaoh called Abram
Right?
and said, what is this that thou hast done unto me?
What he asking him?
What is this that thou hast done?
What is he asking Abraham, y'all, at this point? What? Why you do what? What is a lie? What is a lie?
Untrue.
What is untrue?
Not to
What? No, I'm saying what is an untruth? What's it called?
A lie.
What's it called? Thank you. Which is what? Okay.
Why you breaking?
Go ahead.
Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife?
What did he ask him?
Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife?
Right.
Why saidst thou, she is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore behold, thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had.
See, so he had set him out fat for him. He gave him oxen. See, we had to make sure what the whole premise is here. You should not prostitute anybody.
Right.
At this point, he giving gifts for her. This is almost, or is he almost prostituting Sarah? Huh? What is Pharaoh giving him?
Riches.
He gave him riches.
See how Abraham came up, huh?
And see how Abraham had that, he like, look, take your wife and get out of here. The Lord is dealing. I understand you were scared. You know what's happening here. But in this book of Jackson, anybody got, I'm going to pull it up here on the screen. And just so it's going to get into a little bit more detail. Y'all, we ain't got long about 10 minutes. Huh? Did I already ask? Chapter 20. And this, what you got, brother?
Also, write down Jackson 28, verse 1 through 13.
Is that getting right to that one? Because this happened to him a couple times. Right. This was with the Philistines. Is that Egypt 28? Is that Sarah? I mean, Jackson 28?
Yeah, I was just saying that the same thing happened to Abraham. I mean, to Isaac.
To Isaac.
Right. Father and son.
Look Look, y'all, so what does this mean? You know, it's dangerous to have a fair woman. Huh? No, it just means you gotta take what comes with the territory.
What you say?
You got to take what's coming with the territory.
You gotta be a man and not be scared.
You have to understand every man that lay eyes on her may be having some thoughts in his head.
What you say, bro?
Having thoughts in his head.
Come on.
So what you say? I'm going to get me somebody look like a beautiful lipstick on. That'll fix it. Will it? Where we at?
We at Jasher 20, verse about 19.
You can start at.
That's the Philistine, man.
Yeah, that's the Philistine one I want.
You want the Egyptian?
See, the same thing, the Philistine, just start at verse 6 on that 20.
You want to go chapter 15 with the Egyptians?
Yeah.
It's chapter 15. It's chapter 15.
15.
Sarah's his sister. Chapter
Yeah, 15. That's what I want. The same story in the book of Jasher. And let's see if it lines up, but it's going to give us some better details, y'all, of what's going on. See, these lost books fill in the blanks, y'all, so we don't have to guess. But the Bible is good. It holds its own weight. But if you want to get down to the heart of it,
Y'all there? The book of Jasher. Who is still on y'all? The book of Jasher, chapter 15, verse 1. And in that year there was a heavy famine throughout the land of Canaan.
what was it?
A heavy famine
Right.
throughout the land of Canaan. And the inhabitants of the land could not remain on account of the famine, for it was very grievous. And Abram and all belonging to him rose and went down to Egypt on account of the famine. And when they were at the brook of Mitzrayim, they remained there some time to rest from the fatigue of the road. And Abram and Sarah were walking at the border of the brook of Mizraim. And Abram beheld his wife Sarah, and she was very beautiful.
Now, y'all think about this. They just walking, they hungry, and he looked over and he said, woman, you fine as...
They're out in the fire. Verse 4. And Abram said to his wife Sarah, since God has created thee with such a beautiful countenance, I am afraid of the Egyptians, lest they should slay me and take thee away. For the fear of God is not in these places.
So what was not in these places?
The fear of God.
Look, y'all, it's times we go places, you see Abraham, it's places y'all know where we go. Y'all know how these cats is. Y'all know how disrespectful they are. You walk in the club holding your girl hand before you get to the bar, he holding the other hand. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5. Surely then thou shalt do this. Say thou art my sister.
See, he's coaching her right now, ain't he? Go ahead, read some more, man.
Say thou art my sister to all that may ask thee, in order that it may be well with me.
Well with who?
Well with me.
Right.
And that we may live and not be put to death.
That we may live.
That we may live.
See,
and not be put to death.
so who was going to be put to death, though? See, they was going to take Sarah, and after they may have got through with it, she'd have been tossed to the wolves. Go ahead.
And that's what brother was talking earlier. A wise man perceived the evil and hides himself. That's in Proverbs.
Y'all, but that's a permissive will. Y'all understand that that's a permissive will because we are in the lion's den. Y'all see, when we just start hurling laws at people and tell them, look, you can't never lie or you out of there.
That's right.
Y'all, sometimes it's situational. This was famine. It's rough time, y'all. We ain't ate. Look, sleep was for dinner. It's rough. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Abram commanded the same to all those that came with him to Egypt on account of the famine.
So he said the same to all those. Abraham had a few people hanging with him too. He told them too. Y'all know the plot, right? Go ahead.
He was a friend of the Lord.
Yeah.
Now, hold on, brother. Let me finish this one script. Go ahead.
And not only that, y'all, this is how Abraham ended up getting all his riches.
That's right.
This happened to him twice with the Egyptians and the Philistines.
That's right.
And in both instances, he left both of them spots rich. Verse 6. And Abram commanded the same to all those that came with him to Egypt on account of the famine. Also his nephew Lot he commanded, saying, if the Egyptians ask thee